At this time of year, there's not much better than a glass of mulled wine and a seat by the fire. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to get a glass of mulled wine or cider or apple juice ready in 60 seconds flat. Hello and welcome to English Country Life. Welcome to the lounge and welcome to making very fast, absolutely delicious homemade mulled wine. A very long time ago, longer than I care to admit, we used to go and visit a gamekeeper's wife. And this lady could produce the most wonderful, delicious homemade mulled wine, and also, for the youngsters, homemade mulled apple juice. And she could produce it in what seemed like moments. And as I got a bit older, I asked her what the trick was, and she told me two really important tricks to know about mulled wine. The first is, the longer you mull it, the more of the alcohol in the wine you drive off. The second is, to get a great flavour, you've got to mull it for a long time. And she'd worked out that what you need to do is do all the mulling without the wine, and she produced a syrup. She made this syrup with orange zest and nutmeg and cinnamon and clove studded apples and all these other wonderful things. But she could do that long in advance, and the syrup, she told me, would keep for more than a year. And she was using the syrup she'd made the previous year. And at the last moment, you just warm the wine, and as soon as it's up to temperature, you can add a bit of syrup. And it's incredible. It's got a depth of flavour you can't achieve if you mull the flavours into the wine itself. So today, I'd really like to pass on the secret of fantastic mulled wine in a jiffy to you. I'm going to start 2 litres of water because I want to make 1 litre of syrup. So what I'm doing here is allowing myself enough water that we can boil it down. And this recipe is for 1 litre of syrup. 1 litre of syrup will do you 5 bottles of wine. You need about 20% syrup, 80% wine, or 20% syrup, 80% apple juice to get a really good flavour using this recipe. To create a syrup, and we're going to use, again, enough to make 1 litre of syrup, you need sweetening. I use a combination of honey and sugar, but you can adjust it just as you please. For me, 350 grams of sugar is right, and I tend to use raw cane sugars. On top of my sugar, I'm going to add 5 tablespoons of great local honey. If you don't like honey and you want to use all sugar, or if you don't like sugar and you want to use all honey, that's absolutely fine. The water, the sugar and honey are your syrup. Once you've got those, then you spice them and you flavour them with fruits to your own taste. I'll put my recipe up at the end, but it's all those lovely things you can see over here behind, and a lot of fruit. I like fruit in my mulled wine, and don't be frightened to go sort of a bit unusual. A lovely lady called Heidi introduced me to the notion of glog, which is almost, but not quite, a Danish mulled wine. And there's a lot of blackcurrant in glog, and why not? You know, we're going to have orange and lemon and apple in ours, but if you really like blueberries, what's stopping you? That's all the ingredients. All we have to do now is keep stirring the syrup until all the sugar and the honey is dissolved. They have a tendency to sink to the bottom of the pan. They will stick and burn if you let them. So keep giving them a stir till they've all dissolved. Then bring the liquid up to a boil and reduce to a gentle simmer. Once you've brought the syrup up to the boil, you need to reduce the heat, which we do by moving across on the wishbone to the cooler side a bit. And we will keep that warm and just on a gentle simmer for 15 minutes. Then we need to use a slotted spoon to remove the apple, otherwise the apple will cook down to a mush. And once we've done that, we'll just leave it simmering gently until the volume of liquid has reduced by half. So we've let that syrup boil down for a couple of hours till about half of it's gone. What I'm going to do now is filter it, just to get rid of the bits of spice and stuff that are in there. Very simply, a fine sieve on top of a funnel going into the bottle that we're going to put it in. You can see I've already started. I use the swing top bottles, clip top bottles. We've bought a load of them, and actually I love the fact you can just reuse them. You don't have to throw them away every time. But an old wine bottle and a cork, frankly, an old pop bottle would work absolutely fine. If you're going to use a pop bottle, I'd let the stuff cool a little bit before you put it into plastic. But in glass, put it in hot while it's still sterile. So that is a litre of mulling syrup. And that litre will do a good 5 bottles of wine. Now, leave it sealed, it'll be good till next year. Once you open it, you probably want to use it up within a month or so. Oh, that's a hardship, isn't it? Bottle of wine in a saucepan, just bring it up to warm, you don't have to boil it. Add about 150 ml of the mulling syrup, you're good to go. That's absolutely fine. You don't have to leave it in there for any length of time. We've done the work, we've infused the flavours. All we're doing now is just warming up some wine and adding the syrup. It can be done quickly. But if, like me, every now and again you're on your own, you've just come in from doing a bit of cold gardening, you want to just have something warming, try this, the 60-second recipe. Okay. Splash of mulling syrup, homemade cider, bought-in cider, apple juice, into the microwave, 60 seconds, and it's steaming and it's warm and it's sweet and it's gorgeous. And I promise you, using a microwave doesn't matter. All you're doing is heating the liquid because we've done the mulling in advance, and the microwave heats it every bit as effectively as doing stuff with saucepans and stoves. And I promise you, you're going to have a glass of that and think, why haven't I been doing this for years? And try it with your kids. Apple juice, mulled syrup, absolutely gorgeous. After a nice crunchy walk on frozen leaves in the woods, it's just magnificent. If you've got a log burner as well, honestly, you're kind of into Hallmark heaven at that point. So that's the secret. Make the mulled wine syrup first. Then just warm up whatever drink you want, be it wine, be it cider, be it apple juice. 60 seconds in a microwave, and I promise you, it will be better than any of that nasty sort of commercial mulled wine with preservatives in. And don't be afraid to experiment. We've mulled homemade wine. I make a lot of elderberry wine. I haven't shared the recipe yet. Happy if you want me to. Mulled elderberry wine is something else. The very best. The very, very best I've ever done. Blackberry wine mulled. Absolutely incredible. It's like autumn and winter in a big warm hug. Incredible stuff. Try it. If you're enjoying this garden content, can you spare us 5 seconds? Give us a thumbs up. If you want to leave us a comment, that's even better. We've got masses more to come. We're just finding the time to cover stuff. Mustard, parsnip seed saving, and loads more. If you want to see them, hit the subscribe button down below and the notification bell next to it, and you'll hear every time we upload a new video. But whatever you do, have a wonderful holiday and come back and see us soon. Take care.